Hi everyone. I actually put together a little video on crystals, or my crystals, and where and how I store them quite some months ago, and to my surprise on playback it was actually very dark. My room certainly isn't dark to the naked eye, so I'm not sure what happened, but I thought why not give it another go. So as you know, I had a big clear out earlier this year, and instead of having crystals in various little dishes around the house, which were beautiful, I decided I needed to rehome them, not outside of this space, but just give them some privacy, if you like, and only leave a few crystals out and about, really for the sake of simplifying my surroundings. So in my kitchen area, I have some favorite friends. You can see here on the screen right is a little piece of, well, it's actually a reasonable piece of lepidolite. It's beautiful. You're going to hear me say Dave's Down to Earth Rock Shop a lot. It's the place I went to in Chicago, and I really did get myself a decent haul, but it was a fantastic place. If you're in the area, do go and have a look. This here, this is beautiful green calcite, and this is an amethyst point, as you can see. I don't want to insult your intelligence, but just in case for people that are not well versed in the area of crystals, hopefully that will help you. This here is Charlie. A clear, well, he's slightly smoky, but officially a clear quartz. But you can see there's quite a little universe in there. He's an amazing little skull, quite cheeky. But I put most of my skulls away, but this one demanded a front row seat. This here is a piece of black tourmaline, natural, gorgeous. This little Buddha here is not crystal but glass, but whoops, but I love it. This box, by the way, see, sometimes it's the simple things. This little box I was given by my neighbours next door when they went over to Italy and Ireland. They brought me a few gifts. I have a beautiful tin from Ireland that was filled with delicious toffee. But this one here is chocolates, and inside the chocolate, limoncello. If you haven't had it, you need to try it. So what a flavour sensation. You bite into those beautiful chocolates and you get a burst of limoncello. Oh my God. So I just can't throw the box away. Anyway, on this side, you can see I have two clear quartz points, and in the center is a sphere of black obsidian. This here is a piece of merlinite, the magician's stone, some people like to call it. Again, that's a beautiful natural piece. It's a reasonable size too, as you can see. And in the center is one of my favorite pieces. I bought this at a shop where I used to work. It's a smoky. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Nice for the palm. And then this piece here is Tibetan quartz. Well, it's quartz with little sort of shards of pyrite. When you hold it in the light, you can see. But this was actually gifted to me by a client from Tibet. He actually found this on a mountain side. That's crazy. So this is a piece I will never ever part with, and I think it looks quite good there with the merlinite. So that's my kitchen area. These crystals keep me company on a daily basis. I have some liquid crystal drops above them. Oh, and this is dragon's blood. And again, a client gifted this to me. I've been very, very blessed over the years. I happened to comment to her in the shop where I worked, I love this piece. And when I finished work that day, the owner said, oh, by the way, there's a little package there for you. What a beautiful, beautiful thing to do. So I'm going to pause and move on to the next space. Most of you know my little writer's table. I have just a few little pieces in here. Obviously that's rose quartz. This is moonstone here, so I like to keep it on the messenger cards. So like most of you, I just intuitively place just a little tumbled stone, or this is one of my favorites. It cost me $4 and I love it. It's a beautiful little smoky. Well, it's sort of like a double terminator. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just place one little stone, tumbled stone or something of the like on top of each deck. But this piece here I really love. This is a piece of amber, real amber. There's a lot of crap around, but this is a beautiful piece. I actually bought that off a friend, and she knows her crystals. And up top, if I can get it in focus for you, this is one of my favorite pieces, my prized possession. It's a nice big chunk of black obsidian. There we go. You can see the size of it. Beautiful. It's just beautiful. See the minerals? Bit of clay in there. And over here is a lava ball. And again, you can see little minerals in there. And over here is a shungite Merkaba. Now, you've got to be careful with shungite. I bought this off a lovely guy in Canada. He's very, very nice. He's also a Reiki master and blesses everything and gives it Reiki energy. But truth be known, if you want top quality shungite, you've really got to pay for it. So I wouldn't presume this is anywhere near top of the range, but I do love it very much. Okay, next stop. This is another piece that many of you have seen before. I leave it here with my sound bowls and monochord. So this is just completely raw. That's what I love about this piece. It is straight out of the ground. You can see it starts off smoky and ends up cloudy, but more like a clear quartz rather than a smoky. But it hasn't been polished. It hasn't been treated in any way. So yeah, that's very special. And over here, I have two pieces of selenite that I've had for quite some years. I used to buy off a guy who sells wholesale. He's still around, but yeah, that was quite some time ago. And again, a nice big piece. I'm glad I got these years and years ago, because now they're twice the price. So another piece of selenite there. And this here is a beautiful piece of citrine. Look at the point. That's insane. It's just beautiful. I'll see if I can get a bit of focus. There it is. It's quite magical in there, and it's a decent size. It's got a bit of weight in it. I can't remember exactly the weight, but it's certainly, you know, once you hold it in your hands, you can feel it. This piece of selenite I got for $20 because the guy who was selling them knocked it over accidentally, and it's got one little chip there, right? And it was $80, and he sold it to me for $20. I'm pretty impressed. This is a piece of calcite, and I knocked this over years ago. I'm on the phone to a friend, and I went to pick it up and hold it while I was chatting. Stupid idea. Knocked it over, and the point was damaged. I was so upset with myself because it was absolutely perfect. However, you get over it after a while, and, you know, I still love it. And this is another little selenite. You know, these are everywhere, but it's really beautiful. Little selenite tower, I think they call them. I've packed most of my my tumbled stones away, but I love this vase. It's very, very old, and I just leave my green tumbled stones in there. Okay, next stop. This is one of my bookshelves, and so this is the largest piece I have of rose quartz. Again, it's quite mighty and heavy. This piece here is, well, was a part of a cave, and the shop where I used to work, they received it in pieces. It was quite a large piece, and yeah, it was just broken. So they were given a refund by the supplier, and she gave me this piece. So again, that was very, very nice of her. This piece here my mother bought me a long time ago. This is a type of hematite. I know there's rainbow hematite, but I think this was actually called something else, and I can't think of it because it's probably 13 or 14 years I've had this piece. So it's very, very delicate. You have to be careful. You could literally just scratch it away. And this is a beautiful piece that's also very delicate here at the top of calcite. But I love the fact that it's just, you know, multi-layered, multi-coloured. That's exactly how it grows. And you forget that when you get tumbled stones. You know, you get green and white and brown and orange. But, you know, you can fall into that trap of presuming that it all grows completely separately, but that's not the case. These are very special to me, my Sedona rocks that I just picked up off the ground. This is a beautiful piece of petrified wood that cost me next to nothing. Honestly, it really pays to go into kind of junk shops and retro shops and, you know, not so much fancy antique shops, but the little guys, because that cost me $8 from a retro shop. And I have another piece that I'll show you in a moment. Oh, now we're getting down to business. This is my crystal skull called Clarity, and she is. Look at that. Amazing. I absolutely love this skull. I love it more than I can say. Beautiful. So that's Clarity there. Again, got a little bit of weight in her. And then obviously that's Amethyst. And on the other side is Truth, another beauty. So he's a smoky, but again, very clear. And I love skulls that look like they have a little, you know, universe or a nebula floating around inside. So one needs to be rather careful with those. And this is the other piece. I paid $3 for this piece. So it's been cut, obviously. This is petrified wood, but not polished. And I like that. So one of them is polished and one of them isn't. And then I bought this shot glass in Sedona and filled it with little rocks. Just on one of the, you know, trails I was walking. So one more stop to go. We're now in my little altar room, and I hope that this video turns out okay. The last one was way too dark, so I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that the light is going to be in my favour this time. So this little shelf I used to have in my kitchen, I more or less again use it as an altar. Whether it stays this way or not, I'm just not sure. This is actually a CD cabinet that is filled with music, and eventually I'm going to digitize my whole library whenever I get around to that. And I just thought this would be wonderful to keep all sorts of goodies, including crystals, or just, yeah, you know, those little bits and pieces. Oh, that drawer doesn't want to close properly. There we go. But just to have everything all in one cabinet that's easily accessible is highly inviting to me. So I'll see what, you know, I'll see how it ends up. But, you know, anything from stationery to witchy stuff, I think. So, again, this is where I might leave some cards, do a spell, leave my intent. Just got a few pieces here to represent the elements: fire, earth, air, water, ether. I love this little piece. This is called Pineapple Amethyst. Sweet as... Sorry, my camera does struggle a little bit. So that's a sweetie. And this guy here is another favourite of mine. This is Pyrite. His name is Storm. I think that's quite apt. So great for protection and grounding, and, you know, this guy means business. I use these spheres here. This is orange calcite and white calcite for sun and moon. And they're just a couple of pieces. This is a lovely piece of celestial quartz. Almost dividing into two there, isn't it? And, whoops, on the other side, this is, I bought this in Albuquerque, again from an old wares store. And there's stuff everywhere, a huge warehouse. And way up the back was one cabinet filled with crystals. And they were a bargain. I wish I could have purchased more, but obviously you have to carry them. This, I think they call candle quartz, if I remember correctly. Candle quartz or cathedral quartz, one or the other or both. Again, these two pieces I love. This is like, you know, from clear to milky for, again, masculine and feminine. This is a necklace of lapis, sorry. And this little tree, it's actually a key ring that my friend bought back from Bali, and I really love it. So I bought this little glass here for $1 in a retro shop for salt. But for the moment, that's, you know, the way I use it. And then these two little cuties. This is a hematite skull. And, sorry, just trying to point there. Hematite skull. And this is a calcite. So they're only little minis. Look. So tiny. This was gifted to me for my birthday by a friend of mine. It's gorgeous. Okay, and then over here, I'm happy to say I have some shelves that are almost empty, and that was the whole idea of it during my big clear out. They were filled with books, so I just have a few little bits and pieces. Again, I really love this this little Buddha, and that's some Ho'oponopono here. I don't know if you've ever tried it, but it's wonderful. It works very well, I believe. And that's what you repeat. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. So I'll talk about that more another time. Again, just some little Buddhas. This is a piece of sodalite that's wonderful for meditation once again, because if you put your hand over it, you know, it just fits in perfectly. One hand above, one hand below. This is a raw piece of fuchsite. And then this piece here is very delicate. This is black tourmaline with quartz. It's, again, it's quite a decent size, but you don't want to be picking this sort of thing up a lot. Over here I have a raw piece of lepidolite, and this is actually, well, it's either a stalactite or a stalagmite. It came out of a cave, but I'm not sure exactly where, like whether it's local, like Jenolan caves are very well known in this area, but I'm not sure. But it's quite interesting, and it just intrigues me. Yeah, so I'm not sure which way it went. I don't know. No, possibly this. Yeah, I think it's this way. It's hanging down. But then it looks like the ridges look like it's running the other way. Really not sure. Neither was the guy that sold it to me, but I paid $3. So, you know, you can't complain. This is a beautiful selenite wand that I purchased in Sedona. This comes from Albuquerque. That's what I think is so, I don't know, heartwarming and special about a lot of the pieces. When you travel, it's about where they came from as well as what they are. So that's why I keep these things. Here we just have some black and white various crystals. This is a piece of petrified wood that I found myself in the sea. It doesn't want to focus for me. And then over here are spheres and points, eggs and pyramids. So for the moment they're sitting here, but I'm not sure what, you know, what I'll end up doing. I might pack them away so they're just not sitting there collecting dust. This copper sphere is very special to me. Again, I bought that from Dave's Down to Earth rock shop, but I absolutely love it. This is a little, it's a bit rusty. I've got to give it a polish, but it's, it was a necklace, but it's a real harmonica. The brand Honor is very well known and well respected. That is the cutest thing ever. Okay, I'm going to swizzle over here, and right next door to my grandmother clock, how cute, is where I store all the other crystals. Now, I found this one here in, again, a little retro shop or a Good Samaritan's store for, that's what it was, Good Samaritans for $2. It actually has a glass lid, and I bought this initially when I still had all of my crystals out on display, but I thought I just want one box that's easily accessible, filled with various, you know, just all different types of crystals. So, you know, I won't go through each one, this will be too long, but I will highlight this beautiful piece of labradorite or labradorite, depending on your school, your upbringing. And this also is a beautiful piece of natural pyrite. It's just incredible. to think it grows this way naturally. It's just crazy. So that's actually Auralite 21. But this is another beautiful piece. I purchased this in Flagstaff, Arizona, and it's called, if I can get it focused, it is Arizona Rainbow Petrified Wood, it's called. Arizona Rainbow Petrified Wood. Beautiful, beautiful. It's very different to the petrified wood I have, you know, the other pieces that I have. Now, this is what I decided to do. When I had all of these pieces out, I had, you know, dishes and bowls everywhere. I wanted to put them away safely, but also have them close by and make it easy to find what I'm looking for. So when I purchased some chocolates for my mother, I thought, wow, that's a great idea. And that's what I have chosen to do, is place them in these Ferrero Rocher boxes. You can see these are deeper, same chocolates. So these are all, as you can see, a mix of, I think that's green aventurine, rose quartz and amethyst pieces, chips, all natural for crystal grids. In this little box that I happen to have, it's got a plastic lid, and this is, sorry, these pieces are, I was going to say ruby. Not ruby. No, it is ruby. Is it? I'm going blank. I'm going blank. I think it's ruby. I'll correct myself later on if I'm wrong, but I do believe that to be. God, that's bizarre when your brain just loses the plot. Seems to happen often these days. Up the back is just little samples that I purchased, little specimens from all walks of life that I haven't really, I don't know, found a permanent home yet. I'll just work out exactly how I'm going to arrange them. But again, they were on my travels, and a lot of them I kept, which is good. I kept the accompanying information, description about the stones and crystals, because some of them I got from actual like rock dealers, not crystal new age shops. And these are my crystal skulls that are all ready to rock and roll whenever, you know, I give them the green light. But in the meantime, they are safe and sound and they don't get dusty. I love this little girl. She's definitely from another world. Beautiful clear piece, but look at her little face. That's gorgeous. Now, I'll just put this lid back on. So that's, I found to be a very good solution. You do have to keep in mind, if you pick these boxes up, you must pick them up very carefully. If you have wooden floors and these don't clip down, they just, you know, it's just a lid that sits on top. If you dropped that on a wooden floor, you'd be in big trouble. So lucky for me, I have carpet in here, but still, I wouldn't want to drop them. So I'm going to actually take that sticker off, and I'll find a better way to store that last box. But it worked really well. The other thing I found just in one of my drawers, I had a couple of cases for playing cards, and they work really well also for tumbled stones. But again, the lid doesn't clip on, so you just have to be very aware when you pick them up. But there's my tiger's eye. Again, I have these for grids, and over here is just various. There's some mookaite and some calcite in there. And the other, this is again things I had around the house. I had all my paperwork in here, and I thought, you know what, I've got better use for this. So there's one deep drawer, and then the others are all the same. In the bottom, I put a big piece of foam that I had from one of my computer boxes and placed the larger pieces in here. This is quite weighty. You can see there's one skull who didn't fit in the other box. Here's another very powerful energy skull named Zorro. See the little scar on his left eye, above his left eye. So you can see there are various pieces here, all around the same size. And I just want to point this one out. This is a piece of clear quartz that came out of the junk bowl, basically. Again, in a shop where I used to work. It was, I think, $7, and it is beautiful. It just goes to show you do not have to pay a lot of money. And I would take this over many, many other pieces that are perhaps larger, I would take this traveling with me. It's stunning, and I love the fact that it's just natural. So very lucky. It just didn't seem to get chipped and damaged like many of the other pieces. This is a nice little piece of chevron quartz. Again, $7. You know, see all the little crystals in the top there? Really lovely. I love this calcite. Oh, you could eat that, could you not? Yum. That is just delicious. There's 2 pieces there. So that's that. And then above, I placed some smaller pieces in. Again, these are little specimen boxes that I had when I traveled through the US. Most shops actually give you your crystal in a little box, which is beautiful. They don't tend to do that here. So again, this is all for grid work, but I love them. Look at this. This is some Himalayan quartz. I bought this from Spellbound Sky. Some of you may know it. It's in Los Angeles. You can follow them on Instagram. 2 really cool guys. I think they've grown a lot since I was there. They've really, really come along. And I got those Herkimer diamonds from them as well. It's a little piece of optical calcite. Anyway, so on and so forth. You can see there's some citrine up the back, some smaller pieces of pyrite. These little pieces here were at the base of Uluru. Well, the path leading up to Uluru. You never, ever take pieces of Uluru itself. It's just totally and utterly disrespectful. But this was just on the pathway up, so I was allowed to take them. And these are from Sedona, these here. Beautiful. And so I found this to be a wonderful solution. Up here is just, clear quartz and some selenite. You can see there's a palm stone there, and then these little strips of various shapes and sizes. There's a couple of scepters up the back, up there, which are really good for healing. And the top drawer is more or less incomplete. That's a lovely piece of fuchsite, natural, looks like a fish. And behind it is some black tourmaline. And then these, oh, they look like sweeties, little pieces of calcite of various shapes and kinds. And the 2 pieces in here are very, very special to me. I bought both of these from Dave's Down to Earth Rock Shop because I trust them. This is a piece of moldavite that I had wired to wear. And it is a stunner. That is real moldavite. There's a lot of fake stuff out there. Be very careful if you're shopping for moldavite. And some of the fakes are so well done. You can feel the buzz when you pick it up. And to my surprise, I haven't worn it for a while, but I'm feeling very, very connected at the moment. It's time to bring it out as summer, you know, or spring sets in. Rather than a scarf, I'll be wearing moldavite. And the partner is, this is Libyan desert glass, which is really quite difficult to find. Another beautiful piece. These were not cheap, folks. You can tell that I wired that one, but it does the job. And what I like to do, get those bags out of the way. I actually like, sorry, I'm not doing a very good job here with the camera, but I actually like to, oh, I had it down pat where I actually could get them to kind of fit together. I can't seem to do it today, pardon me. But anyway, once they are together, I thought that would be one mighty pendant to wear. So I'll see if I can have them, you know, wired as one. And yeah, that will be, whew, yes, please. Anyway, I just, yeah, wanted to share. This video was actually inspired by someone who was talking about storing crystals and how to store them safely. And I just like the fact, look, I've got all sorts of tins. I had them in loads of different tins and they were all labelled, but it bugged me. I like the fact that I can actually see them. And again, keep your eyes open for these little boxes. They are around. And then I will say there is just one more box, just because I love this box that my mother bought me years and years ago. It's just got a beautiful Buddha face on it. And that has, again, some little specimen boxes there that I got through my travels. This piece here I love. I paid $2 plus tax in the US. And I said to her, what is that, please? Because I had my suspicions and she didn't know. It was only a small place. Anyway, I thought, that looks like Galena. I'm going to buy that. Went and did some research. It is Galena. And you know where I bought it? Galena. I kid you not. Galena, Illinois. It's a beautiful, tiny little kind of tourist town. But that was hilarious. She didn't know what it was, and she was living there. I don't think it's called Galena because it's from Galena, but I just thought that was quite funny. I think here I've got, oh yeah, that's just like a Vogel-shaped wand. No, the one I wanted to show you is, I think it's this box here. Yeah. Oh no, that's my aragonite. That's another one from, pardon me, ammonite. That's another one from Dave's Down to Earth Rock Shop. It's beautiful, isn't it? Ammonite? No. Of course, it's going to be the last one, isn't it? These I bought from a little place in Cottonwood. These are called fulgurites, and it's sand that has been struck by lightning. Let's see if I can show you. Look. See, can you see the little hole? There it is. How amazing is that? Let's see, it might be best down here. I'm just trying to get it. There you go. That is sand struck by lightning. Absolutely amazing. So I loved purchasing from places like this. This place at Cottonwood, it's just Alan's Rock Shop, I think it was called. And, you know, Alan is like, what's his name? Indiana Jones, you know, with his boots and shorts. Really down-to-earth guy. And they charge next to nothing. They don't have that 300% markup, you know, like a lot of fancy spiritual New Age shops have. So keep your eyes open for places like that. And my curiosity's got the better of me. What's this? I've showed you everything else. We may as well go the whole hog. Oh, that's magnetite. Yeah. And it actually had these little shards. See those tiny little bits and pieces? These little shards that stick to it like a magnet. But of course it was completely, you know, travel wasn't its friend, put it that way. And the lady said to me, you're crazy buying that if you're going to travel. But I thought, it's still magnetite. And sometimes they call this magnetic lodestone. So you can Google it if you want. But I just preferred to take the chance and bring it home. Anyway, folks, that's it. That's where I keep my crystals at this point. And if anything changes, you will be the first to know. But thanks very much for taking this journey with me. And yeah, sending you a whole lot of crystal love. And I'll talk to you soon. And by the way, they are not ruby. Garnet! Finally, my brain woke up. Yes. I'll take them out and show you in the light. Garnet are absolutely beautiful. The deepest sort of wine red. But you have to get them in the right light. Oh, look at that. They are really precious. That's one of my favourite pieces there. That one's a little harder to pick up in this light. I think maybe this one here. Oh, look. Isn't that delicious? Fancy me calling him Ruby. I'm seriously losing the plot, and I just realised I did lead you up the garden path with a few items. How totally embarrassing. I've had this piece here for such a long time. Auralite 21, I think I called it. Doofus. It's Auralite 23. And the more red, right, the more potent the red minerals at the end, the more expensive they are. So mine isn't the most expensive, but again, it's not really coming up so well on this film, but it is there. At least that's better focus. But you can see there it is. So some of them are red, like red, and they are worth quite a lot of money. But this is still a really beautiful piece. It has a lovely energy. So while I'm here, that's nebula stone. That's black kyanite. It looks like a feather. Really nice. There it is. That's the best side of it. So you can see that's blue there, and this is black. And this here is blue apatite. I thought I might as well clarify that. Now this is ruby. This is a ruby record keeper. I'll show you the little Get it in focus first. That would be great. Come on now. Oh, this camera, honestly, I can't get... Oh, just caught a glimpse. If I get it in the right light, it's got the little raised pyramids on it. I'll bring it down here and see if this works better. Aha, thank you. Now, they're on both sides. This is a very special piece, and when I bought it from the lady, there they are, see that? And she said, I was wondering who was going to pick this piece up and buy it, and there they are on the other side, all those triangles. So that's a special piece, a ruby record keeper. I do not know how, but that ended up getting a little damaged. See this, just this area there? Something like another tumbled stone must have been rubbing on it, but they're all smooth tumbled stones. It is beyond me, but I was really quite upset that when I discovered that, but there's not much I can do about it now, other than continue to love it. And this here is just a teeny tiny little piece of petrified wood. So I wasn't going to show you them in my original video, but I had to come back and correct my mistakes. So again, this is Auralite 23. And the other thing I mislabeled for you, I think I called this beautiful piece here Himalayan quartz. No, it's Tibetan quartz. And I think it is a really stunning piece. I'll see if I can get it in focus here for you. There it is. Look at that. Wow. It's really beautiful. So this is the one that came, or one of the few. All of these here came from Spellbound Sky in LA, except the calcite that I bought here in Australia. But these little pieces. So that's a Herkimer diamond, but these others are Tibetan quartz. Sometimes you can get them mixed up, so just be careful. Sometimes I think people label Tibetan quartz as Herkimer diamond, and they are not, because Herkimer diamonds are from Herkimer. So Tibetan quartz, Tibet isn't Herkimer. I think you get the point. Anyway, I think that was the only thing I had to clarify with you, but so I won't sort of start another long conversation, but I'm still finding this to be very, very handy as far as the storage option goes. Oh, and one thing just very quickly before I go. I forgot to show you a couple of my other favorite pieces. So this amethyst cave is really quite beautiful. I gifted this to myself for my birthday some years ago, like I'm thinking probably 10 years ago now. And again, I'm very, very lucky that I was able to purchase this at the Mind Body Spirit Festival from that guy that I mentioned before, who sells wholesale, because really the deals are nowhere near as good now and everything has gone up so much. I mean, by weight, this is a heavy piece. You can see the size of my hand, it's quite, you know, it's quite large. And yeah, by weight, I hate to think what it cost me a few hundred then. I hate to think what it would cost now. This is another little piece. I like this. It's like a little family. And see, you've got the green. That could be cacoxenite. There's cacoxenite and another one that look very, very similar, and I'm never really sure which one, but I do like that piece. And this is a lovely piece here of blue calcite. Yum, 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 yum. So again, it's quite, you know, a decent size. And I like the fact that it sort of stands up on its own rather than laying flat. And then this is just another piece that I bought off a friend of mine when she was culling her crystal collections. Very brave of her. And again, I like the size of it. So it's just a chip, but it's still got some natural points. So there you have it. They are, oh, and mustn't forget this, my little sphere. This is calcite. So pretty. I did sort of upload a video quite some time ago with all of these, but it was a while ago. I think it was one of the first videos I uploaded. So again, when you see them all together, isn't it beautiful when you look at the different colors? It's just beautiful. And I love the fact that, you know, you can rearrange crystals. And that's why I like the idea of packing some away for a little while and allowing them to just sort of charge up and rejuvenate. and then bring a selection out and group them together for a little while, you know, until you see fit to do otherwise. Anyway, again, thanks for taking this journey with me, and I hope you've enjoyed my crystal tour. If you come up with some really funky ideas as to how to store your crystals, do let me know. I'd love to hear. Or better still, I'd love to see a video. Shine on, folks, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.